This is Mandy Jacobellis. Welcome to our online eyebrow and eyelash tinting certification course. I am excited to be here. If you are just tuning in, we have a whole series of these certifications on our Teachable, and you can click the link below to join our classes. They come with certification, they come with the kit. We're going to tell you everything you need to know to perform lash and brow tints. It's a really easy service. The service is going to take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. It's a great add-on. It takes less time if you're adding on to card services. Okay, so I'm going to have you get cozy. So to prep her, you can either use a pull-free washcloth, which is best for the lash extensions because there's no lint or fiber, or you can use the cotton rounds. But again, she has lash extensions on, so we're going to use the bamboo lint-free cloth just to make sure we don't pull any of those beautiful extensions off. So I will do a half pump of our LASHX cleanser, and again, this is oil and sulfate surfactant free. It's glycol free, alcohol free, so it's going to help maintain her lash extensions and also prep the lash without anything that would affect the color. And it's not going to foam or suds because it is surfactant free. It's just going to emulsify. So this is just plain water. I'm going to wet my cloth and emulsify it, and I'm going to have you test. Just go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to work out any product that could be in her lash line, if she had mascara on, get that all off, and then clean her brow at the same time. So I typically will do one side of the face and then the other. I like to do a lot of patterns. You'll see when I work, so I never forget anything. I kind of always do things the same way. Test. So it sounds like we're going to do black on your lashes. We want to give you that eyeliner line to make your lashes fuller. And then as far as your brows go, you have pretty good brows. They're pretty full. You just want to have them a more made up look so you don't have to do the day-to-day maintenance. Does that sound about right?
Sounds perfect.
Is there anything else I'm missing or you want to touch on? Or
I think that's it. That sounds great.
I'd like to, really emphasize the tail of her brows because I can see that they end a little bit too soon.
For sure.
Okay, so to prep test for her under eye, we're going to use a little bit of barrier cream, and I'll have you look up towards me. Be careful not to get it on the lashes, obviously. What I'm doing is I'm using this gel pad. I'm going to have Tess look back towards me. And I'm slipping this gel pad underneath her lower lashes, but all the way to the lash line so that I cover the skin. So that way the tint's not going to give her that tired look. And these are great because they really stay in place. So that's all we do. She's going to be able to close her eyes and be comfortable. Okay, so we're pretty much prepped for the service. And now I'm going to mix my formulas. So we're going to start with the lash formula. For the lash formula, I'm going to do pure black, and I'm not going to mix it with anything. I want to get it as dark as possible. This is new, so you'll see in the box they come with like a little applicator stick that I really never use. And then you have to use the top of the tint just to make the initial hole. They say, the directions say 3/4 of an inch for the tint, which to me doesn't make that much sense. I guess I'm not a math girl. So I like to think of it about the size of a pea. So a pea, like vegetable or something like that is my guideline. And I just kind of eyeball it. I'm not super precise. It's going to work. So you don't have to worry too much. And then with the cream oxidant, like I said, 15 drops. Again, I don't usually count. I just kind of cover the product. But you can, when you're learning, do your 15 or 20 drops. I just kind of try to cover it. And you want it to be a creamy consistency. You don't want it so wet that it's drippy, because we really want it to stay where we place it so it's not risking getting near someone's eye. But the first thing is just to make sure that our product is pretty thick and gonna last where, it's gonna stay where we put it. The other thing I am going to do in the other pot on my palette is I'm going to mix the natural brown. Is that what we chose? Yeah, natural brown. I did half a pea because I'm going to mix that, half a pea. I'm going to mix that with the graphite. And remember, the graphite is really to tone the color to make it more of an ash rather than a warm brown, because we want to go with Tessa's highlight color, which is more of an ash blonde. You can use a fan brush on the lashes, but I like this. It's a little stiffer and gives more control, so you could do whichever you prefer. I'm going to use the same brush for both the lashes and the brows. I am going to start with the lashes because those can be left the longest. If you're doing it at the same time, you want to start and end with the lashes if you're going black, because really you can't get the lashes dark enough. If you leave it an extra minute or two, it's only going to really enhance the look. Whereas if you leave the brow an extra minute or two, it could really look crazy. So I'm going to mix my black first. And you want it completely mixed so that there's no separation. It just looks like one product. Right now it looks like it's still kind of a cream with a color in it. I want it to be completely mixed. And then once you get that good creamy texture, you'll notice it's not dripping or anything. We're going to have the client close her eyes and we're going to tint through top and bottom lashes at the same time. And we're going to use the flat side of the brush to tap her skin to create that eyeliner look. So I like to start with the brush sideways at the inner corner to get in these little tiny hairs. So start on the gel pad, not on her skin, and bring the color to the end of the eyelash. And then just tap back at the skin. So I'm putting the initial placement on the gel pad. That way if there's a lot of product that oozes, it's on the gel pad and not in the crease where her eyelid closes. We don't want any product getting in our eye. So I'm first applying on top of the gel pad, and then I'm touching back at her skin to create that eyeliner look. And again, I'm going right over her extensions. I'm getting the lower lashes at the same time. And I'm taking my time to really make sure that the tint has to completely submerge the hairs. You don't want to just get the top of the lash line. You really want the tint to get all around it. Now the timing on the lashes is it's based on how thick the hair is, but for lashes I usually leave it about 8 minutes. Okay, so I completely saturated her lashes. So now I'm going to clean my brush really good. You want to make sure if you're using the same brush, you clean it really well, so that way we're not tinting her eyebrows black. That would not be a good look. I mean, it's a look. Now I'm going to mix the brown side. So this is again natural brown, graphite, and the cream developer. I am going to go through her brows like it's a makeup brush. So instead of just doing like a shape, I'm going to go through hair stroke by hair stroke, creating a shadow. Now my color is a little bit lighter than her natural shade. That's on purpose. I don't want to make her brows darker. I just want them to look filled in and more complete, more made up. But I'm not making the hair darker. So my color is actually going to be like a little bit lighter than hers. It's going to be somewhere in between her roots and her highlights. So the inner part of the brow should be about where the nostril and the inner corner of the eye line up. If you do a straight line, that's where you want to start going straight up. I like a nice, perfect bottom of the brow, so all of the hairs start in the same line. And then I'm going to do little strokes upward to give a natural appearance. And Tess already has really great brows. I mean, this result is not going to be a shocking before or after or anything like that. But services like this can just make you feel more done in the morning so you can run out the door. Okay, so I'm just basically painting exactly where I want on the brow. And you'll notice I got a little smudge there. I'm just going to take the clean cotton swab and remove that tint, and it doesn't stain the skin. As long as you catch it right away, you can clean up your work. So typically there isn't need for the lash tint remover, or the tint remover. I try to not use that because it can be irritating if you're really rubbing the skin trying to get color off. So I try to clean up as I go. I'm going to just stand up and make sure from a distance everything looks really even. I don't know, we look pretty even to me. If you guys at home see anything, let me know. Okay, so while that is working, I'm going to just clean everything so that I'm ready to go for my next client. It's all about being efficient. The best way to clean the tint, again, is dry. So I'm going to work it all out with the cotton swab. Then, of course, after we wash them and sterilize the brush. But you want to get all the product out dry so it doesn't make a big mess in your sink. I am going to start removing the tint from her eyes. Now, the eyes are obviously the most, well, hold that thought. I'm going to remove the brows first because we don't want them to over tint. So I'll wait a minute and then I'll remove the brows. And the eyes are the most delicate and sensitive area to remove the product from, so it's really important that we follow the steps for that. I'm going to remove everything dry, and then with a damp cotton or a damp cloth, and then I'm going to have the client actually wipe themselves because she'll get in there better than I will to really make sure there's no product before she opens. But I'll remove her brows first just so those don't over-process. So the best way to remove the product is with water and a little bit of cleanser. If you just use water, you might not get it all, and it could keep tinting, which could be not so cute after a while. So just with a clean cotton round and some water, I'm going to remove, I'll use cleanser first and then I'll use just the water. Sorry, I'm lying. So just a little bit of the cleanser and water. It's hard to multitask, come on guys. Okay, so I'm going to start by removing. Make sure we get some left on the skin because she wanted that makeup look. So I'm actually going to half remove it. I'm going to leave it on the skin a little bit longer so we get more of that makeup look. But take it off the hair a little bit so that way she doesn't get the hairs too dark. I am now going to, because she has extensions on, I'm going to be very careful with the cotton that it doesn't get caught on there. So first I'm going to try to dab and get off all the tint product. You don't want to pull because the little fuzzies can get stuck in the lashes. And then really because she has extensions, most of the removal is going to happen with this cloth. So I'm going to, again, put a little more of that cleanser, a little bit of the water, and I'm going to just get in there and make sure all the tint comes off. You don't want any water dripping or too wet because you don't want it to run in her eye, so just damp. And I'm just doing little micro movements from the lid away without opening or pulling on the lid. So the best aftercare for the tint is really just to use the Safe Cleanser. It's again oil and glycol free, so it's not gonna strip the color. And then be careful about like retinols, glycolics, anything on the skin, brows, lash area that could be lightening. Okay, so all that's off. I'm gonna brush through with the clean mascara wand just to make sure there's no tint between her lashes. Everything I'm doing is with her eyes sealed. I'm not lifting or creating space between her lids where product could get in there. Again, if something does get in your client's eye, you don't want to panic. You just want to keep cleaning it with the dry cotton swabs until it's all out. If they're still stinging, you'll use those eye drops and try to flush them. And if that doesn't work, you would bring them to the sink and have them flush their eyes with water. But ideally, you don't have to do any of that. I'm going to gently lift up so I can make sure all the product's off underneath her lashes. And then before she opens, I'm actually going to hand her this cloth with a little bit more water and have her wipe her own eyes because I know she'll get in there more than I will. Whenever you're working on someone, we tend to be obviously more delicate and more, although I probably don't look that delicate, but you try to be more delicate when you're working on someone. When you're cleaning your own eyes, you kind of know what pressure feels good and how to wipe your own eyes better. So Tess, I'm just gonna hand you, this is just water on that corner there, and go ahead and just wipe really well. And
Just eyebrows and eyes everywhere.
not your eyebrows, just your lashes, just to make sure, I just wanna make sure there's no sting. All right, how does everything feel?
Good.
Okay, great. So we're gonna pause for a minute. We'll come back to you guys with the after. We'll show Tess her results, and then we'll answer any other questions you may have. So we'll be right back. Thank you all for sticking with us. So we're gonna be popping up that before and after in a second. Right now I wanna show Tess her results. What do you think?
Yay! Oh my god, I love it.
It looks like makeup,
I'm
right?
like ready to wake up in the morning. Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan of full brows, and you definitely like filled in with a makeup look. And yeah, it looks like I have eyeliner on. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Wow.
she looks made up. It's not as dramatic as, say, a full set of lash extensions or brow extensions. But for Tess, where she already has great brows, this might be just the best service for her. I don't think
Yeah,
she
this is
necessarily
great.
needs anything else for her brows. So this would be a great add-on to any other service you're doing. And we'll show you the before and after. Again, it is subtle, but for her, it's just that little boost to feel made up, roll out of bed, go to the gym, whatever it is she does, that she doesn't have to feel like she has to do her brows every morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really appreciate all your time and questions. It's been lovely, and I look forward to your before and afters.